for time busy schedule to come out for the timely continue to share with the community. How many years is your first meeting with us? Very good, very good, very good. Thank you so much. We're happy. We're happy you got the message. So again, this we're back to you this evening. We want to share with you some very important information as we gear up to hopefully make our last trip to Miami-Dade County, and lay this issue to rest completely. But you know, everything that we have accomplished, we've done it as a team, and we've done it with all of your involvement. And on behalf of the city, we do want to say thank you very much. So without further ado, I know we have a couple other elected officials that will be joining us, but I'd like to bring up our dear Mayor, Mayor Wayne Messon.
Thank you, Deputy Manager Baker. Good evening, everyone. How are you? So before I get started, I was downtown Fort Lauderdale today on the City of Miramar. We are a sponsor, Broward County, for the Florida International Trade and Cultural Expo, where we have over 70 countries that are here in Broward County looking at trade and cultural opportunities. So leaving from downtown, I'm looking at my calendar, and my executive assistant, Edna, she'll laugh at this. It's about 5:20. So I'm getting nervous. I have to drive from downtown all the way over here. I'm rushing. I'm sending texts. I think I'm going to be late for the meeting because on my calendar it's 6 o'clock, right? It starts 6:30, but in my mind I'm thinking 6. I get here 6, what time? 05, 10. I get in here. There's no one in here. I'm getting upset at you all. I'm like, do you all think this thing is over? Where are all the residents? Nobody is here. So I'm glad to see that I was just early and you all are on time, and we're here to have our update. So thank you all for coming this evening. So November 6th is the day where the county commission is supposed to be making their ultimate decision. So I just want to give a brief update. I think mostly everyone in here has a good understanding of how we got to where we are. So where I'm going to pick up is updates from since the town hall meeting we had a few weeks ago, which I see many faces that were here at that meeting. So recap from the last commission meeting. The Miami-Dade County Board of County Commissioners gave the mayor and city staff instructions to come back to them by November 6th with the site recommendation, giving account of the opportunity to talk to the Medley property owner who had offered his land for a land swap deal with Airport West, as well as the city of Doral coming up with a significantly more money towards the relocation of this incinerator if it's removed from the Doral site. For what we've heard, that the city of Doral is unwilling to offer more than what they've already have offered. I don't know what those developments are. It's just what we have been tracking, what we've heard. Those negotiations are not at least meeting the high threshold of multiple members of the Miami-Dade County Board of Commissioners demanded from the dais. Their words, not ours, as it relates to Doral contributing a significantly more amount of money towards the replacement of the incinerator. So we don't know how that's going to go, but we are tracking it, because whatever decisions have to be made have to be public. So once these announcements are planned and scheduled, we have all eyes and ears on that process, so at least we know where that is. The The Dunn family that owns the Medley site that was offered as a land swap, Mr. Dunn is trying to work with Miami-Dade County to see if he can work out some land swap deal. In short, he's willing to take dollar for dollar land swap in a singular property or multiple properties for Miami-Dade County. The city of Miramar has not sat back quietly. We have made a suggestion or offer to Dunn as it relates to if he does a land swap with Airport West, our vision and our recommendation on what he should do with Airport West if there is a land swap, so that it would not become an incinerator site. So in short, what we've suggested and what we have proposed to him is that he would make that site a wetlands mitigation site bank where developers can buy mitigation credits for developing wetlands within Miami-Dade County. As you all know, most of Western Broward, Dade County has some component of wetlands. So if a developer wants to build and improve that property, they have to retain water on that site. And sometimes it's almost half the site has to have some type of water retention and storage on the site, which significantly lessens the amount of land to be able to develop. If you buy off-site credits from mitigation banks that used to exist, because there are no more that exist. They used to be out scattered throughout the Everglades and wetlands that South Florida Water Management District owns, but because of all of the developments, including our own out here, a lot of developments bought those credits up. So that would be a proposal. The only caveat to that is the Dunn family has valued their Medley property in excess of $100 million. The amount of money that he would make off credits sold would be significantly less. So I would imagine that Mr. Dunn is working with Miami-Dade County to either identify other sites that would be a part of the swap, or, and this is not any information that I'm coming up with, but just my assumption, or Miami-Dade County offer cash for purchase to an amount can be an option, right? Miami-Dade County is also due to receive insurance money from the other incinerator burning down, which could be used as consideration as well. So I hope he's listening and watching, and hopefully that can add to the negotiations. But at the end of the day, for us, if the county goes with Mr. Dunn's property, he knows that we are very selective on what we would accept on that site. And what we would accept and what we think would be the best use for that property to preserve its natural state, habitats, and to leave it undisturbed as currently existing to be a wetlands mitigation site. So we know he's meeting with the county commissioners, I'm not sure if he's meeting with the mayor, but hopefully they can work something out. We are engaging him and trying to get a feel of where he's at. So we hope that there is a solid option for the county commission. So when you factor in the Dunn deal, when you factor in Doral having to come up with a certain amount to offset the relocation costs for the incinerator if it's not placed back in Doral, there's a lot of moving parts. So there's nothing that we can say that we can hedge a bet on to say what's going to happen. That's why you need to be there. First class seats in the chambers, right? To help give the visible sign of Miramar's continued and unwavered opposition to Airport West. So thanks to our hardworking staff, our consultants, the many meetings we've had internally and externally to put us in the position where we are. So we're optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. And we have to keep our foot on the pedal. We can't let up, and we have to continue to press forward. So that's our update. I tried to keep that within 10, 12 minutes and not an hour, right? No, I don't have to go home to cook tonight. But we're still vigilant. We're still trying to get as many meetings as possible. Because we don't have that much time. It's only a couple of weeks away, if that. Actually, exactly 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we should know, not, hopefully we'll know this, the state of our country in terms of who will be our next president, which we may not know the next day over, right? And we'll also know the state of the incinerator. So, but we do think, though, it's going to be much more difficult for the county commission to kick the can down the road because they are at risk of losing their insurance premium. They've gotten a couple of extensions by the insurer to replace the incinerator. And I think they have to have something in by the end of this year or January at the latest. So they really have to get their act together and decide what they're going to do. So that's our update. Thank you all for coming out, and I'll turn it back over to our Deputy Manager Baker to give you the staff update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. How many of you know what a storm is? I know what a storm is. How many know what a hurricane is? Okay. Well, the last meeting we showed up like a storm. This time around, our desire is to show up like a hurricane. We seek to do damage and make a difference. And with that being said, and in order for that to be possible, there's a tremendous amount of logistics that has to take place to make it possible. We want an excess of 300 bodies there. You need to say, wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, 300. 300. So it's really incumbent upon you that as you interact with your neighbors and your community and your HOA to help us get the word out. Silence will not get us anywhere. We really have to be there and make some noise and be clear as to what our expectations are. So with that being said, we've expanded our logistics team. We've added some additional players, and you're going to be hearing some information as to what to expect and how to gear yourself up. We just acknowledge and announce a couple of them. We have Miss Sean Gale, our Assistant City Manager, Miss Sean Gale, and our Strategic Officer, Miss Shalima Muhammad. They're some of our new acquisitions. We paid quite a bit to get them on the team, so in order to pull this off, we need some additional help. So without further ado, we're going to have Miss Liz Valera, if she would come up at this time to begin to kick off the logistics. I do want to share with you, we will not be taking any questions as we're providing the information. We'll take some at the end. Our hope is that our information will be just so clear that you won't have any questions, right? Give it up to Ms. Liz Valera.
Thanks for the challenge. Hello, everyone. I see a lot of faces that joined us on the 17th, so welcome back. And to those that are new with us, I hope that we're going to be able to give you all the information that you need and be ready, because like the mayor said, and DCM Baker, the difference has been our voices. And because we started this, remember, before the summer, and then they delayed the vote to September, thinking we were going to fall asleep during the summer, but we didn't. We came out even harder. We came out stronger. So on the 17th, I'm sure you all saw us on TV. We were all there as a group, and united, we were able to get them to not even vote for it. So our hope is that the vote is done on the 6th, because we keep doing these. But now we have, and I welcome you guys to help us, ACM Gail and Shalima, thank you for joining us. But we're gonna basically repeat what we did last time in the sense of the logistics. I'll go over it, but like we said, this is gonna be a hurricane, and I want you all to please join us, even if it's for some time, but we wanna be there. We want the news reporters to see us. We want the news to see us. We want the commissioners to see us, that we're standing hard, and we do not want this in our backyard. So on the 6th of November, we're gonna have buses at both locations, at Anson Sports Complex, and we're gonna have buses over in the Miramar Regional Park. And from those locations, we're gonna go ahead and give you a light continental breakfast with some juice and some bars, healthy bananas and oranges. So we'll have that for you. And the idea is that we can have you arrive between 5 and 5:30 in the morning. And at that time, our staff will be there, similar to the registration you went through today. We'll go ahead and register you, and you'll be assigned to a bus. You'll be handed a wristband, and the wristband identifies the bus that you're in. Every bus is going to be accompanied by a bus captain, 2 bus captains, and they're going to give you information when we're there. When you get off, you're not going to be on your own. We're going to be there with you. We're going to walk you through the process. A little later, my colleague Janice will go over what to expect when you get there if you haven't been there before. After, we want to leave the first bus at least at 6. And now, last time we kind of did it as a guess, but now we know that it took us about an hour and 20 minutes to get there, even leaving the park at 6. So I know everybody keeps saying 4 o'clock, they have to get up at 4 o'clock. Yes, but we need to make it. And the day will end a little earlier, so it's worth it, us being there. And another thing is that we know that we're not the only ones that are in this fight. We know that Doral is also going to be represented there. And when those doors open, we want to be sure that our green shirts are the first ones in line. Because as some of you know that joined us, they close the chambers. When there's too many people, that's it. They say the capacity is full, and we stay outside, and we can see the meeting because they do televise it, but it's not the same. We want to be in there. So that's why it's important to leave at 6. We're just not being picky. For one thing we learned on the 17th is that there isn't a lot of seating there. So it's okay, because we are going in the charter buses, there's enough space. If you want to take a packable chair, those portable chairs used for the games, please feel free to bring those. But as it relates to like personal items, if you're going to bring a bag, make sure it's something you're going to be comfortable carrying it with you at all times, because we can't leave anything on the bus. We're not sure that you're going to come back on the same bus that you went there, because we're going to be rotating the buses. So if you take a bag, just something not very busy. We did have, in case it rains, I don't want you guys to chicken out on me. In case it rains, we bought ponchos. So we have ponchos, and that's what we did at the last meeting. We had ponchos for everybody, and we were there. It was raining, it was ugly, but we were there. Then, then comes we're expecting the media to be there, and Ms. Janice will explain what to do with the media. But once that's done, then we can also go inside, because the commissioners have on their dais, they actually have a camera that they can see us inside the building. So where we're viewing the meeting, they can also see us. So that's important to know, because it still shows that we're there, and they're going to see the sea of green. Around 10:30, we want to start the return, because I know a lot of you have expressed that you need to be back by 12, and we know that there's traffic. So the first bus will come back will leave Miami-Dade around 10:30. More or less, it's an estimate, around 10:30. And they're gonna pick you up exactly where we drop you off. And again, your bus captains are there. We're gonna be there, the staff, we're all gonna be wearing, we're gonna try to be wearing our white shirts so you can distinguish us. And we'll show you where. We have identified a way with a QR code that we're gonna be able to, through WhatsApp, we can connect with you. So when you get on the bus with your captains, you'll be connected. So the captain can tell you, hey, the lunches are here, or hey, the first bus is leaving in case you wanna go. So around 10:15, let's say, we'll say, start coming over. We'll go ahead and load that bus and the first bus will come back. We have a total of 6 buses. So we're gonna be rotating as we see that people need to come back for anything, for if they're tired, or if you just need to come back because you have work or another pending appointment. Around 11:30, then we're gonna have the lunches arrive, and we'll also announce that. The lunch, last time we fed all of our residents, and we fed the homeless that were there, and we fed, you all experienced, the ones that were there, we saw it. We fed the security guards. They loved us. So anybody that came around in a green shirt, they didn't give us a problem or anything. It was their Subway boxes, and we have about a different variety of sandwiches. And at the same time, we're gonna have juices, we'll have sodas, we'll have Gatorade in case it's warm. So we'll have that. And then we're gonna continue rotating those buses. We hope that the vote is taken and we have to leave. Please notice on your flyers, on the back of the flyer that was on your chair, we put the website where you can see the telecast, the live telecast of the meeting. Okay, that allows you to see it, because I got a lot of texts after because people had to leave and we didn't, I think the vote wasn't done till like 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And by that time we had left. So everyone was texting me and I was watching the live feed. So I thought it would be better if I could share with you the feed so you can all see it on your own. Also on the flyer, it's kind of a recap of everything I went through, and also my number and Janice's number in case you have any questions before that day. I would encourage you, please, to go, because it really has made a difference. And I was one of those that thought, no, if the decision's made, the decision's made. And I seen it with my own eyes. And it's been proven to me that because of us, they did not make the decision back in May and June. They didn't make the decision again in September. And I know for sure that it's because of our presence, because we have brought up so much different facts, because we've also addressed it scientifically. You know, we've hired the right people, we've hired the right consultants that have given us the information. So we've been able to dispute their claims, and you'll see we're going to have a campaign very shortly. Basically, we have gotten statements that the mayor of Miami-Dade County has made, and we address and we show the facts. You know, if she claims it doesn't have smell, well, we have the fact that it does smell. We have the air quality test. So you'll see that campaign that we're running through. You'll also see that we've got the billboards, we've got posters, we've got A-frames, we've done multi-social media posts all over. We have, we've done emails, we did constant contact, and then even now we have, what do you call those, influencers? We have influencers that are into the environment, and they're sharing we shared to them our predicament, and they're even sharing it. So yeah, it's that fight. And again, you all being there shows faces, it's people, it's not just us, the administration, talking on your behalf. Now I'm gonna turn it over to Janice, and Janice will go over the details of when we get there, what you're gonna encounter. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liz. Thank you all for being here. I want to add as well that what Liz said is that we also have a coalition of like your residents, the conservationists, the environmentalists, So we're not in this fight alone. So I thank you all for coming and being a part of this fight. It affects all of us. So I'm here now to discuss what's going to happen when you arrive. So when you arrive on the buses to Miami-Dade County, the first thing you're going to do is the ones who are going to be speaking, you're going to be registering at the desk to speak. You'll write your name down and your address. When you do that, you go to the security and you get a visitor's pass. So it's going to have a big yellow pass that says visitor. Now it's important that you secure this visitor's pass because it does not stick very well. So you could walk from point A to point B and the pass drops or falls to the floor, and you'll have no pass to enter the chamber. So please ensure that you, once you get a pass to speak in the chamber, that you ensure it's secured. When you get the pass to go in through the chamber, you'll pass through a security checkpoint. Now, just like with the airport, you will pass through the security checkpoint by taking out all your valuables, and you go through a metal detector to make sure that there is nothing that goes off. Once you pass through the chamber, you go upstairs to pass through security, you go up to your chambers, one floor up. Now, in the chambers, we want to make sure, I mean, the mayor has been reiterating this, that we always act with decorum. We want to make sure that whatever Miramar does and who we represent is really of decorum and that we are respectful for everybody. The thing is that initially we were saying, you know, put the incinerator in X place, Y place. We don't want to incinerator anywhere because it affects them, it affects us negatively as well. So we want to make sure that whatever happens, that we act with respect and dignity anywhere we go. When you go inside the chambers, there's going to be no clapping. So if you are in agreement with a point being made by the Board of Commissioners, what you're going to be doing is very silent. Can I see you all do jazz hands for me? Jazz hands? Okay, do it high up in the air now. Beautiful. So once you do that, that means you're in agreement with what is being said on the dais. Now, if you are in disagreement with what is being said, can I see you do thumbs down, high up, thumbs down, right? So, I mean, that speaks so loudly, it really unnerves the commissioners. They feel very scared when they see that. So you can like the sea of green and the thumbs down, they get very nervous, which is why I think they didn't vote the last time. They really, really got scared. So we want to make sure that for those who are speaking in the chamber, you can be as vociferous, but do it very quietly. Now, once you are in the chambers and you're going to be speaking, if you have your name registered, don't line up to the podium unless your name is called. So you're going to hear your name called by the chairman, and he's going to call your name, and at that point you get up and you walk to the podium, and then you speak. You go to the podium, you have about 2 minutes, right, Mayor? It's about 2 minutes? 1 minute, 1 minute. You're going to go to the podium, you can't get nervous because that nervousness will take about 30 seconds. You know, and you can't, you're like, time up. I mean, they are very serious. So just try and get all the nerves out, you know, get everything, all the EBGBs out, and get straight there. That's right, Allison. Get straight up there, and your speaking name, Janice McIntosh, 9192, South of 36th Manor, Miramar, Florida. I oppose this incinerator because it's a hazard to the health and environment, and I would like Miami-Dade County to have an option to remove the incinerator to another destination, or whatever you're going to say. So just make sure that you're going to be clear. We're going to have some scripts. We're going to prepare, right, Liz? So if you want to speak, you can speak from your heart because there are persons who are actually affected. It's sure that they're, you know, respiratory issues or whatever it is. Or you can always say it affects the environment. There are schools nearby, birds, endangered species, the bonneted bats, so many things it affects. So this incinerator is really, really bad for everybody. And there are a few people here who spoke the last time, and I'm telling you, they were powerful and they were passionate. Can I see the hands of those who spoke last time? Wonderful. Look. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, we couldn't have planned this any better. You spoke and it's like, wow. And as Liz and the mayor said, that it is our voices that really counted and really, really mattered. Because that vote could have happened because the mayor did recommend Airport West. And at that point, they said, you know what, let's stop. And I mean, we are only 140,000 residents, but we are not taking this thing lying down. And I'm just really so proud of Miramar. I want to say, you know, for the demonstrations, No, we are going to demonstrate. Now, when we see the media, we have to kind of show off because we really want to make sure that they see us. So we can't look passive and quiet, like we don't want the incinerator, we want to make sure that we are loud, and that's what the media wants to see. So you all have your sheets, the chanting sheets today. Well, no, we're going to chant. We're gonna practice today. We're going to practice because how many of you here have, I mean, for the ones who have ever demonstrated before and joined a placard? Who has ever demonstrated before? Ever? Demonstrated? All right. And that's why, because sometimes when you go to these demonstration lines, you need to kind of warm up. Because you don't know what to say. You don't know how to demonstrate. And we're going to show you this evening. So we have two areas to demonstrate. One is by the commissioner's parking lot, but that's between that's just one bus that's going to go there. So you might be on that bus. So this is where the commissioners, this is where they park. So one of few demonstrators there holding their placards and doing the demonstration. But the majority of the demonstration is going to be in front of the chambers. In front of the building, that is the Stephen P. building, where we'll have all the demonstrators in their sea of green. So make sure you get your shirts. If not, no, I see the shirts being worn today, fantastic. And then you'll have your placards and you'll hold it up. Now, the last time we were demonstrating, we had a chant, and I'm going to go through a chant shortly. But we want to make sure that everybody who's coming in to the chambers, you give them safe pack. I mean, we're not blocking anywhere, but we're going to be demonstrating by chanting it. So did anybody have this? You have this with you right now? Allison, could you just ask him for me for this one? We're going to just do a little practice because in here it's kind of cold as well. It's outside, Allison. Okay, so you have it? So, yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, so when you come to the commission, you will have a lot of Miramar staff who will be there and ushering to help you with everything that you need. So again, you will not be left alone. You're going to have people who are there to tell you exactly where to stand, where the restrooms are. So if you're on the ground floor where the chanting is going to be, the demonstration, you'll go inside the building and you'll go up the escalator on the first floor. That is, within. So you're not going past the security checkpoint. No, this is just inside the chamber area, in the building. And the lunches now will be served on the outside. And then again, we'll have staff every step of the way you go. All right, so I'm going to tell you some more after this, but I want to just lead you all into the chant. So the first one says, what do we want? And you will say, we want clean air. And then I'll say, when do we want it? And you say, we want it now. Okay? So it's going to get a little warmed up. So here it is now. We're going to have the placards. And I'll say, what do we want? We want clean air. When do we want it? We want it now. What do we want? We want clean air. When do we want it? We want it now. All right, here's another one now. It says, you aren't loud enough, and you aren't. You see, the thing is that when the media comes, if you look lackluster, they can't even carry it. They want you, as DCM Baker said, when we came first, it was a storm. This time coming, we want a hurricane, category 5. So category 5. Okay, we want to make sure that we are loud and very boisterous. So, and this is where we can be, not in the chamber, but on the outside, we can be as loud as we possibly can be. And so let me go to the second one, and then I'll come to the first one. So it says, I'll say, no incinerator, and you, not in our town. We will fight together. We won't. So no incinerator, not in. We will fight together. All right, so let's go. No incinerator. We will fight together. No incinerator. We will fight together. What do we want? When do we want it? No incinerator. We will fight together. What do we want? When do we want it? All right. Give me a excellent. I like that. Yeah, it is so very important that we sound as loudly as possible, and we really get the press to see us. Now, again, speaking of the press, now when the press comes, they're going to be interviewing many people, and they want to get some sound bites. So you want to make sure that when the press comes up to you and they interview you, you can give your name. Usually, you say your name and you spell it for the camera, and then you speak what you want to speak, and just speak about, like, we don't want incinerator near in Miramar, it's too close to our home, and Everglades and the schools. And that's exactly what you want to say to the media. So what they come to you, just get straight to the point, because again, what they're looking for is sound bites. So not anything long and laborious, just get to the point of why you don't want the incinerator in our town. That's in Miramar. And I believe that's it. Now I want to invite up ACM Gale to come on up, because ACM Gale is another of our leaders, and she has joined the team, and she's going to be a point person there as well. So you'll see myself, you'll see ACM Gale, and I want to hand it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have had several of these meetings, and it continues to be encouraging to see how many of the residents come out to make your voices heard. One of the things that we also think is important is us as employees of the city of Miramar. There are some employees who don't live in our city, and we help them to understand, even though you may live somewhere else, you spend at least 40 hours of your week right here in the city of Miramar. When you go out and about, this is the same air that you're breathing. This is why we as employees should be just as passionate about this as our residents, because this is where we call home. When you're not at home in Fort Lauderdale or wherever you live, this is your home. And so we have to make sure that we fight for the residents of Miramar, who we come to work for every day. So we have to make sure that we make our voices heard as loudly as the residents of Miramar. The people who live in Miramar need to make our voices heard. The people who don't live in Miramar and work here need to be even louder, because this is where you work to feed your families, and we can't afford not to let Broward County, Dade County hear that we don't want, we protect our residents when we work every day, and we think protection means they should have the right to have the peace of mind to live in our city boundaries and know that they can protect their families, protect our schools, protect our air, protect our environment. So we continue to see you show up. And I have to tell you, I admire your passion. We want to make sure when we go on November 6th, we continue to let Miami-Dade County know that we're not resting on our laurels. When we went there on September 17, we know that the vote wasn't taken, and they might think we're going to back down because the vote wasn't taken, but we have to show up on November 6th to say, we understand you didn't take the vote, but we're here to make sure that you know we are still passionate about our health, about the safety of our children, the safety of generations to come, and the safety of our environment. So thanks again. We don't take it lightly that you're here. We are happy that you're here, and we want to let everybody know who can't make it here that in some way, somehow, whether you do it by social media, make your voices heard in some way, because there is strength in numbers. Our mayor is leading this charge, and we just want to tell him, thank you, sir, for your leadership. And we want to make sure that we teach our children. We want to make sure, I saw a little boy today, he's so cute, he's right there. We want to make sure we tell our children, if you believe in something, stand up for it. And this is how you do it. So let's stand together. See you on November 6th. We know it's going to be early in the morning. You may be watching the election results overnight. You may have to just do an all-nighter and then just come right out to Miramar Regional Park. But see you on November 6th. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good, ACM. I think we've been very clear what you all think. Yeah, okay. Uh, No questions? Any questions? Okay, yes.
It was announced that in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna have a campaign. I know there's a lot of videos and things, so what else is coming? Besides those campaigns,
Yeah,
what-
yeah, there is continuous updates coming directly to you as new information becomes available. We'll be shooting it to the contact information that we have for you. But that's pretty much it. We are not scheduling another gathering unless something changes. But at this point, if there's a change or whatever, if the item for whatever reason gets pushed, you will be notified of that as well. All the way to the back.
Of those of us that are driving.
Yeah, yeah. We'll provide. You're speaking as a city employee, right? We'll provide the address, the actual address. I believe on the flyer, the actual address is there, and I believe there's some detail on some parking options as well. Mhm. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What are the other cities doing? Because you mentioned Pembroke Pines, and I read that Pembroke Pines donated about $100,000 to support Miramar, but is somebody going there from other cities like Pembroke Pines?
Yeah.
Any other surrounding areas besides Doral?
Yeah, in some of our recent meetings, the mayor of Pembroke Pines has shown up and spoke in favor of this opposition that we're taking. So the mayor's been actively involved with our mayor. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you for taking my question. The last outing that I spoke at, there was a postponement from the first meeting. If there's another postponement that you guys hear about, are you gonna give us enough ample time to reschedule our plans for the next meeting?
Absolutely.
That was good that we were notified in advance of
Yes.
the postponement.
Yeah, that's why it's important that we have your information. If you're not registered, it'll make it a little difficult for us to get in touch with you. But just make sure we have your contact information. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. So my organization, and the question that I have for you is, there's a letter that the Sierra Club has penned, and our coalition of environmental groups and disability coalitions are creating, we have a template for a letter that we want everyone to sign and send. And also Catalyst Miami has another email template that we worked on, and it's available. I can share it. So that way we can have all residents in Miami-Dade and Broward send this letter as one body.
Very good. If you can make that copy available to us, we'll assist in circulating it. Very good. I think we're, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Were you about to say we're done with questions?
Almost. But like there's one
I had
more.
to step out for a second. We were here earlier, so I hope that I'm not gonna repeat one of the same questions. A young lady here asked a similar question, but we're fighting a mega power. We're fighting 3 million residents versus, I think we have a turnout of like 7,000 voters. If I was one of them, I would kind of like flick us off the map. That's me. What I want to know is Nan Rich, she represents us. She's the mayor of the county, and we're fighting the mayor of another county with a little tiny city. Doesn't even hardly vote for our own elections, much less, you know. How involved, last time I came to one of the meetings, my wife went with you guys to Dade County. How involved is she? I got the answer that she wasn't feeling well then. Did she go to the county meeting? Is she involved in this process? Like, she's the mayor of Broward County. We need her firepower. We need her political help. I just, otherwise we're like begging for crumbs and they're gonna throw us crumbs. We need some firepower. We need the mayor of our county to fight their county. She represents our area where we're standing. Nan Ridge represents the land that we're standing on today. I want to know, is she involved? Should we be calling her? Where obviously, I think her position's up. Aren't we voting for her right now? Or asked question last time. You told me she was sick. I hope you have a different answer for me.
No, I didn't say that she was sick, but thank you for your question, and I appreciate it. It shows your concern in regards to our representation here in Broward. A couple of things as a response. This issue is not about Nan Ridge first. It's about Miramar. So I want to be clear about that. Right? It's not about a rebut. No, it's not about a rebut. No, it's not about a rebut. I'm saying
But
that,
I disagree.
Sir, I listened to your question. We can agree to disagree. This issue is not about Nan Ridge. This issue is not about 3 million versus Miramar. Okay? This issue is about a county that lost half of their ability to process their garbage because their 40-year-old incinerator burned down. The current mayor inherited a master plan that gave recommendations on what solid waste should look like in Miami-Dade County. She used that information along with political pressure to use that fire as an opportunity to move the incinerator from Doral and put it as far away from Miami-Dade County residents, and that's why Airport West was nominated. That is what the issue is about. Now, the decision to do that lies and rests with the Miami-Dade County Board of County Commissioners, not Nan Ridge, okay? As I stated last meeting, our own county does not have a leg to stand on as it relates to fighting that incinerator, because Broward County also has to answer how it will process our garbage here in Broward County. That is a fact. This may just be the first fight of another one that may be coming. I don't want to speculate what our master plan is going to recommend, but I do know our master plan is looking at all types and forms of technologies to deal with garbage. So those recommendations may look a little different than Miami-Dade County. Second, based on where we are today, dispels the notion that our efforts can just be flicked away. Because that flicked has met a punch. Because if our efforts could just be flicked away, the site would have already been decided. And now the heat ramps up to us fighting a regulatory process as it relates to permitting. So what you may see as deep waters is only 2 feet of water. And sir, all I ask you to do is just stand up and join us to make sure that the Miami-Dade County sees that we continue to be in opposition. Your city has intentionally worked behind the scenes as well, having meetings with those members on the Board of County Commissioners, giving them facts, dispelling the recommendation that has been placed before them to select Airport West. That has also contributed to where we are right now. So I know, and I don't know the motivation on why Nan Ridge keeps coming up. And I'm not defending Nan Ridge. I'm just saying that as your mayor and we as residents, we can't rely on Nan Ridge or any Broward County commissioner to fight our battle when they too will be faced with the same decision. That is what we're facing. So we can go on this path about, well, what is the mayor of Broward County doing? That mayor needs to tell their mayor to do that. That doesn't mean anything, because the pressure that Miami-Dade County mayor has on her to solve that issue, losing half of their production to process garbage. Nan Rich can scream from Mount Sinai. It wouldn't matter to solve their challenge and their politics and the pressures that they have to serve their community. So we have to focus on what's in our control and what is in our power. I would imagine that Broward County is keeping all of their options open. To tell Miami-Dade County that they can't build an incinerator is basically saying that they can't build one either, when that very well may be the recommendation that they have to decide to do. And that's just a reality, sir. So let's resist the temptation of making this issue about individuals. Let's stick to the facts, the process in which this decision is going to be made, which lies with the Miami-Dade County Board of County Commissioners, and continue to give them the information that makes sense for not only their own well-being, but more importantly, for ours, so that Airport West, isn't selected. So I respect your position. I respect your concern, because in all candor, our mayor in Broward County should be supporting our efforts. But in all fairness, as it relates to public service, you have to, at a minimum, know what your options are so that you can be able to make the best decision based off the resources you have and the facts as they exist. In this case, we are just of the position that incineration shouldn't be in anybody's backyard, especially ours.
I want to tell you, it's not me against you guys. You guys have done a great job.
No, I get it.
And I don't want you to think for 1 second that I came here to, poke the bear, and stir the pot. Otherwise, it just is a little disappointing to me. I've been involved in politics in the city of Miami-Dade County, and I know everybody in the game for the last 35 years. But I happen to live here. And if I was over there, the same way Jarrell's giving Kava political pressure because she had an election just recently, we don't care where you put it, don't put it here. I just feel like, and again, non-rebuttal, you guys have done a great job. I've seen everything, I've been watching. My wife went to the Dade County commission meeting with you all. I wasn't in, I was out of town. And I appreciate everything you guys are doing. It's just that it makes me wonder, is that what's next? Is that she gonna go fight that one? Is she planning to build one right here?
Yeah. So again, I understand. Yeah. I understand. Now, with all that I just said, right, it does not stop you from calling Mayor Rich's office to let her know that you're disappointed in her presence or absence in this situation. That's your right. Yeah. And the point I'm making is Nan Rich can be standing beside me right here tonight. It does not change our circumstance one iota, because the decision is going to be made by the Board of Commissioners in Miami-Dade County, is the point that I'm making. And more energy we spend on criticizing the efforts or lack thereof of our representatives in this issue detracts away from the effort we need to be placing on convincing the actual decision makers on making the right decision.
I'm actually impressed with the firepower that she's not bringing. She's not a local politician. She's settled to do local work because, she's been around a long time. She's been way up in politics, and she knows everybody in this business. It's just a little discouraging.
Again, Mayor Rich does not vote in Miami-Dade County. Broward County does not offer any money towards what they have to do. They see her like they see us, right? And at the end of the day, those decision makers are looking at the cost to build that incinerator. They have one set of constituents in Miami-Dade County that wants it out of their city. And you have at least a majority on that commission that is saying that if you want it out of your city, we need $200+ million to contribute to move it, okay? That has nothing to do with Nan Rich. Nothing, okay? They have to select the site. Their site options. You have one property owner says, I'll do a land swap. So those who have to make the decision to say, okay, how sweet can this deal be? So they have to assess that. Again, those are direct factors that will make an impact on the decision. And again, has nothing to do with Nan Rich, what she may say, how long she's been in service, whether at the state, whether at the county. So what I'm saying is, call her. Tell her how you feel. Residents, call her. Tell her how you feel about their lack of presence. They've heard that from us. We've actually asked them for money to help us fight this. We've asked from the from the Solid Waste Authority to assist us. But we understand the circumstances of what they're charged to do here in Broward County. And typically, municipal governments do not interfere with the affairs of other neighbors. Now, it happens to impact us, and we feel they should be more vocal. But what are they going to ask them to do when they have to make the same decision? Is all I'm just trying to ask you to contemplate. But I do feel that from my position, that she should at least communicate a position and not have to be asked. The Broward County as a commission should at least communicate their position or their dilemma, which none of them have done. But we can't sit here and say because, oh, they're not even helping us, they're not even supporting us. No, we have to defend our own home. You all elected me to serve you. Whether they do so or not. So I take that position, and again, I'm not defending anyone. I'm just defending us and trying to stay focused on what really matters, what's going to impact the decision, and urging us to stay focused on what really matters. Respectfully. Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, yes, sir. Yeah.
My question is this, depending on the decision on November 6th that's made, how fast are we gonna have legal action if it went unfavorable for Miramar legal teams to step in and take action on what they decide?
Okay.
Is that gonna be quick, or is that gonna take, or is that gonna wait on it, or what's gonna happen then?
All right. So we've officially ended the town hall. So I'm just gonna ask that the stream turn off now. The stream.